the sea in a mystic mood, in a place where antiquity meets the past, all blending with the present. This is the town of Acre, in the northwest corner of Israel. A colorful miniature old town, with its tiny harbor and massive walls, vividly recalls the Crusaders, but most of its buildings, in fact, date to the Turkish rebuilding in the 18th century. One of the pashas of Turkish times, Ahmad, nicknamed Al-Jazar, or the Cutthroat, refortified Acre and erected many public buildings. Al-Jazar's mosque, one of the largest in Israel, constitutes Galilee's main Islamic religious center. Several of Al-Jazar's inns, which provided lodgings for visiting merchants, survive. One is the Inn of the Pillars, partially built with columns taken from the ruins of Caesarea. With the help of the British Navy, Al-Jazar successfully defended Acre against Napoleon's famous siege in 1798. Acre is a delightful spot on which to wander about. The past and present are intermingled here in the old narrowed streets, echoing to the exuberance of today's children, and a wonderful mixture it is. As in so many cities of antiquity in this land of contrast, the need for water was met by engineering ingenuity of these people of history in the building of this aqueduct. The fact that it stands in such good shape after all these centuries attests to the quality of construction in the time it was built. Our need to move about to discover these places so rich in history brings us momentarily to today, in the excellent highways traversing the length and breadth of Israel. The countryside we now travel through is very different from that which accompanied our trip to Masada. It is rich, fertile, and green with growing things. As we climb the hills leading to our next point of interest, we can look down on the agricultural domain in this part of Israel, that of the north. We are welcomed to Nazareth in 3 different languages: Hebrew, Arabic, and English. Nazareth today is a rather sprawling old town spread over several hills. The majority of its inhabitants are Christians, of a great variety of sects. Yet, as of 1971, when I was there, it boasted the largest Arab center in Israel outside of the areas occupied after the 1967 war. The town is Arab in character, with its narrow lanes, small shops, and a lively market. For visitors, though, Nazareth lies in the close association with the life of Christ. Constructed in 1969, the Franciscans Basilica of Annunciation stands on the site of 4 previous structures, one built in the 4th century by Constantine, one in the 7th century, one by the Crusaders in 1099, and one in 1730. The popularity of this spot for building churches lies beyond this entrance, way under the basilica. For it is here, in this grotto, according to St. Helena's researches in 326 AD, that the Annunciation took place. The Basilica of the Annunciation is only one of a large number of churches in Nazareth, many of which commemorate an important event in the times of Christ. Some of these are St. Joseph, built over the grotto believed to have been Joseph's first shop, Synagogue Church, on the site where Christ worshipped and taught, Mensa Christi Church, and the Greek Orthodox Church of St. Gabriel. This church is built over the source of the spring feeding the well that, as tradition has it, Mary used to draw water. The well shaft, which has been moved from one side of the road to the other, is still in use today. This church is also claimed to be the site of the Annunciation. Its interior is one of rich beauty of the old tradition, without the modernization that has happened to a number of churches and religious sites of the areas. Again, past and present intermingle, as an Arab shepherd drives his flock up today's highway in probably what is the most important town of Christian antiquity. A shepherd and his flock. What more appropriate symbol as we come upon the little town of Bethlehem. The oldest church in the world, the Church of the Nativity, is entered from Manger Square. And the contrast here is with the deep meaning of the church being violated by multitudes of parked tourist buses. The Redeemer in the scene is the little fellows in the foreground, in a moment of young innocent cheerfulness found in children throughout the country during my stay. The church dates from the 6th century and has been much altered and restored. Different but interconnected parts today belong to the Greek Orthodox, Roman Catholics, and Armenians. While Carl and I roamed about the grounds, we came upon this plaque depicting a rather well-known event in mythical history. The attraction of the Church of the Nativity for so many people from the world over, a spot where millions travel thousands of miles to see, is of course the Grotto of the Nativity, the birthplace of Christ. This star in the niche of the chamber's eastern end marks that spot. Just a few yards away is the location of the manger, where the cradle of Jesus stood. The manger itself is preserved in the church in Rome. The traffic of people into and through the Church of the Nativity was a continuous stream. People from all over, pilgrims and tourists. For many who traveled to Israel, it was a climax of a journey into the depths of their religion. For others, a trip into the past, into antiquity. For those who live here, it is a place of the ages, the age of the past, of the present, and a very modern future. But the antiquities will always be here, and very much revered by peoples the world over.